Hey folks, welcome back to Pop Retro. You can find me at Pop Retro 1 at Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me at facebook.com/popretro1. And also, I believe YouTube, my YouTube handle is now Pop Retro 1. So anytime you need to find me, youtube.com/Pop Retro 1. So wanted to quickly do a little show and tell of recent pickups from Vinegar Syndrome and a couple of their partner title releases from other companies that they distribute for. So just to get into the holiday spirit, as I'm recording this here at the end of November, the first title up, I need to be careful showing it because it's got some naughty parts. Don't Open Till Christmas. Can you tell which parts I'm not supposed to show on YouTube? So what's neat about this is, the packaging anyway, is that it actually opens up like a Christmas card. And so I'm going to open it up and try to cover it up. So there you go. Christmas card. Oh, jeez. You know, this is difficult to hide, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. There's the back of it. And this is from what year was this one? 1984. 1984. Great year for slashings. And there's a look at the reversible art. I've gone ahead and actually switched out the regular art to the reversed art when I first opened this. There's a look at the back. A troubled production, this one was, as Vinegar Syndrome has kind of put together this film. It was sort of a patchwork where people who worked on it apparently had trouble finishing it and had trouble getting it released, and so they eventually did, and it's kind of been in obscurity ever since. So that is Don't Open Till Christmas. Well, here, I'll open this just to show you the disc. I'm having trouble here showing you stuff because I actually have my camera set up differently. So things that I'm used to showing over here, I'm having to show over here. So, but I'll get used to it. It's a work in progress. We're almost up to 200 subscribers here on the Pop Retro channel. So we're really closing in. I'm excited. I'm glad those of you who are here continue to be here. So, all right, up next we've got, written by Paul Naschy, The Werewolf versus Vampire Woman. Look at that art. Almost had to hide it, but not quite. The blood flows like vintage wine. There you go. Look at the back. This is from 1971. It is a 4K UHD. Vinegar Syndrome releasing a lot of 4K UHDs as of, I want to say, about a year or two ago. So this has 3 discs, and this includes like 2 alternate cuts, along with a bunch of the other extras. There's a look at the disc. Okay, I need to come over here is what I need to do. There we go. And the other 2 discs. There is like there are 3 different cuts of the film. It's international export nude version, its clothed Spanish version, and an integral nude Spanish version. So there you go. For all the completists for The Werewolf versus Vampire Woman. You get them all. You're getting all the cuts. All right, up next, an 80s favorite. If you grew up in the 80s and you were a youngster and you were watching a lot of these movies on cable, you remember the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Well, eventually Tobe Hooper came out along and did Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And since this is a Vinegar Syndrome release, of course, you've got the slip covers upon cases. So this one actually has this outer slip box, really nice, hard case. There's a look at the back. Dennis Hopper. This was in 1986. This film came out. And there's the inner slip cover. And the spine and the back. This is also a 4K UHD. And a look at the back. So this also has 3 discs included. I believe disc 3 is all special features that aren't included on the other couple of discs. I mean, when you look at all the extras and special features on a Vinegar Syndrome release, a lot of the releases, I mean, look at this. I mean, I could sit here and read all this to you, but it's easier to just go to their website if you haven't bought it, and it has all this listed, so you can see it. Let's see if there's a reversible art. You can't see through these black cases, so there is reversible art, and there it is. It's that same image that's on the inner slipcover for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I haven't watched this in many years, but I think since like the early 90s was the last time I watched it, and I've been meaning to rewatch it. I was going to rewatch it last year. I was going to track it down, or this year. It was at some point this year, and I just rewatched the first one, and so I was just going in order, and I was like, oh, I want to rewatch part 2, and then I learned that Vinegar Syndrome was releasing this movie, and so I thought, well, you know what, I'll just wait until that release shows up, and here it is. It's arrived. Put the slipcover back in the slipcase. Very nice package, especially if you're a big fan of this movie. Up next from Vinegar Syndrome, we have from 1988, it is Blood Delirium. So this one, I think I saw back in the day. I went ahead and reversed the art. That is the reversible art. The actual regular other side art is the same as the slipcase, or very similar. Or the slipcover, slipcase, slipcover, whatever you want to call it. John Philip Law stars in this one. Bridget Christensen. Comes from late 80s Italy, directed by Sergio Bergonzelli. So if I saw this, I don't remember. You know, a lot of movies that I get like this are things that I may have seen on cable when I was growing up and haven't watched or seen since. And sometimes I'll be watching it, and after a little while, I'm like, you know what? I remember this now. I saw this long, long ago. So I don't know if I've seen this one, but I will eventually find out. Blood Delirium. All right, next up is a selection from the Vinegar Syndrome Archive, which is a subline Vinegar Syndrome has for, I don't know. I think it's for everything that just doesn't neatly fit in with the expectation of what the main line has, because the main line has a subscription service. So if you subscribe, you have a expectation of the kinds of movies that Vinegar Syndrome will be sending you. And sometimes those movies, sometimes there are movies that they have the rights to, they've licensed for release, but they don't quite fit in, or they don't feel like they can properly maybe get the sales from the mainline folks. And so when it was started, they said it was initially things that were inspired by their love of the 80s and 90s video stores. So like direct to video movies, things like that. This one, and I think this is the first one of the Vinegar Syndrome Archive line that they've released like this, is a TV movie from 1972 called Moon of the Wolf. Now, this is a TV movie that I've not seen, so I'm really excited. That's David Janssen, who starred in The Fugitive and Harry O, both classic television series from the 60s and 70s, respectively. There's a look at the spine. These are limited. I guess everything they release is kind of limited, at least slipcover versions, but these are like limited, and they actually handwrite the edition that you get. This one is out of 5,000. I have number 1,179. And of course, these hard cover slipcases are bottom loaders. So they come out the bottom, supposed to emulate the old VHS days. But a movie like Moon of the Wolf, I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe it did have a VHS and was in the video store. I don't remember seeing it growing up or being drawn to it for whatever reason. But it's a TV movie, so this is a sort of a different direction. I love it because I'm a huge fan of TV, and so the more TV movies released onto physical media, and especially HD physical media, Blu-ray or 4K, the better for me. So there's a look at the back. It's basically a werewolf tale. Here is the innards, the disc, and there's a poster, which I won't unfold. It essentially emulates the hard case slip cover. And there is, the reversible art is the art that you see on the back of the slip cover. So there's the front that shows Jansen, and the moon of the wolf up above. And there's the back, the reversible art. Now with these VSAs, sometimes you have trouble putting them back in the case. So this is known as a piece of paper, which I have grown fond of using. So I'll stick it there on the VSA. There we go, like so. And then it tends to, let's see if I can do this on camera properly, to slip in rather nicely so that you don't tear up your slip cover, or excuse me, the plastic on your case. And then you just pull out the piece of paper, and there it goes, right back in. Moon of the Wolf, ladies and gentlemen, 1972 television movie. All right, two more. These are not Vinegar Syndrome releases. These are from partner labels. These are labels that are not Vinegar Syndrome, but they have partnered with VS, who has a huge audience in this boutique label world. And so these labels are smart to partner with them because this gets them onto Vinegar Syndrome's website, where more people can know that they exist and are releasing films and movies without searching all over the internet. And the first one is from Canadian International Pictures, and that is the Amityville Curse. Now, Vinegar Syndrome released a set of Amityville horror sequels. A bunch of the sequels that came after the first three, Shout Factory, Scream Factory, released the first three in a Blu-ray set. Vinegar Syndrome has since released a 4K UHD of the original Amityville horror, but this one was not, this is from 1990, a Canadian production, I guess, and was not included in that original sequels box that Vinegar released, I don't know, I want to say like 2 years ago or so. So anyhow, here it is, Amityville Curse. There's the back. You look at the spine. And I believe that is the reversible art. I think I did reverse it, which is similar to the back of the evokes the back of the slipcover. This comes with a booklet with an essay and some writing to read about this film. There's a look at the disc itself. There's the other side of the art, which mirrors the front of the slipcover. The Amityville Curse from Canadian International Pictures. This might be my first disc I've purchased from Canadian International. So they're kind of a more recent partner label of VS. All right, last one. Now this one, I was so excited when I saw it because this is a movie that just always grabbed my attention in the video store when I was a kid, and it looked so dangerous and adult. And, you know, I don't think I saw it until I was probably a teenager, 13 or 14, probably 4 or 5 years after it came out. But it's from Australia. It's called Fair Game. Basically a revenge flick. And what I remember most is just that mean-looking vehicle that was always on the cover of the VHS. But I've never owned this movie. I never owned it on VHS or DVD, so I was really excited when Dark Sky Pictures, is that right? Is that what they're called? Can't quite read that because I'm blind. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, not Dark Sky, Dark Star. Dark Star Pictures. Okay, Dark Star, one of the partner labels, has released Fair Game on Blu-ray. So check that out. So I'm very excited to watch this again. It's been quite a while. There's a look at the art. I think I flipped the art around. So this is the reversible art. The other side is simply the slipcover version. There's a look at the bag. This is from 1986. I was 10 years old when this came out. It was probably soon after that I started seeing it in the video stores. So that was really exciting. There's a look at the disc. The special features, or the extras on this one, include short films of Mario Andriacchio, including Vandalism from 1981, Break-In, 83, Taken by Storm from 84, Abduction, Who's Next in 84, and Under Pressure, 1986. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 short films, along with some behind the scenes, classic advertisement and theatrical program, image gallery, and extended interview with actress Cassandra Delaney. So, and a commentary with the director, Andrea Chino, and writer Rob George. A lot of extra and special features on Fair Game. So, Fair Game may be my most anticipated of all of these partner labels for a long time, because it's just something that, again, was always just one of those ones that just stuck with me for whatever reason. And I think a lot of it had to do with that mean-looking automobile that you see there at the top. So there you have it. That is my stack of Vinegar Syndrome and Vinegar Syndrome partner label and sub-label releases. Most of these were released, I believe, in November, early November, I think is when these arrived. So these were announced mostly in October and were delivered in November of 2022. So thanks for joining me. Again, I'm almost up to 200 subs, so I'm going to try to crank out some more videos and some more reviews a little more often to try to get up there and maybe head into 2023 with an outlook to try to produce more content for you with all this stuff I have behind me in the library that I'm watching, and I should be talking about it more. So I'll see you soon.